With week 1 of the Infinite Challenge underway, and flighting being the only thing that I said would stop me from getting through this, 343 just had to go and release some huge info, including some news on dates, features, and a few other details regarding the flights. You guys are in luck because that means I need to work on 2 videos this weekend. It's going to be one shorter one that you're watching now, which will get into the flight info from earlier this week, and then the week 1 roundup from the challenge will chase it, hopefully. Thank you 343 for putting your boy to the test. Let's roll the dang intro. Pretty much I've said everything you need to know to prepare yourself so far, but before we get started, I gotta do my thing. If you're here from last week, I want to wish you a very warm welcome back to the channel, and in case you're new, I hope you love this video enough to drop a sub and be part of that weekly warm welcome that some of your peers just got to enjoy. In any case, thank you for watching. It's been a great week for my Twitch streaming, and we actually just finished Reach on Friday night, meaning I've got 2 games down and 9 more to go. If you're interested in tuning in, you can always check out my links in the description below for more info on that. Otherwise, not much more I need to say, so let's get this rolling. This month's post starts with a reminder to sign up for flights from the Halo Insider program, which you're seeing on screen now, to confirm your email address, which at least 100,000 of you haven't done yet, tisk tisk, and finally to opt into communications regarding the Halo franchise. Signups are totally free and open for both console kings and PC pros, but in case you're the latter, you gotta remember to upload your DX diag so that the flight team can help ensure that the testing is being run across various enough systems. That process is also on screen now, and it's really simple, so no excuses to skimp on that. They also made a point that I want to broadcast here just so that nobody gets it twisted. Signups add your name to a pool of flight candidates that will be picked based on testing needs. You aren't reserving a spot or guaranteeing an invite by taking these steps, so please, no bitching if you don't end up with an invite once things get rolling. Leave that part to me. Also, one extra thing is that even with an invite, you're stress testing systems and not getting early access to a complete game. That means that outages could be expected and other issues will more than likely pop up or break. So again, no bitching, leave that to me. With those details out of the way, let's get into the role of a tester. Those of you who get in are going to need to try your damnedest to break the game so that it's in a better state once the rest of the fandom gets their grubby hands on Infinite. Be as gross as possible. Think dirty thoughts. We're going to make this tank so filthy, the studio will have to clean it. Little Finding Nemo reference for you there. Don't know why, but there you go. But seriously guys, jokes aside, the flights aren't meant to be fun and games, even though they might turn out to be fun games. They're like a post-alpha sweep for bugs and glitches, and 343 is going to put the game in the community's hands to see what can break and how. Specifically, they are focusing on stability across platforms and hardware configurations, online experience and functionality at scale when tracking all sorts of medals, challenges, stats, and other info, and lastly, waypoint and insiders functionality. Obviously, other failures will also be addressed and need reporting, but those will come up organically since most faults are covered in the list before. The post then goes on to do a Q&A with the crew that will be driving and monitoring. I'm sorry guys, I had a beverage before I started recording this. Give me a break. They had a Q&A with the crew that will be driving and monitoring the flighting ship. I gotta stop putting tongue twisters in my script. I won't get into that here because I don't want to steal the post's full spotlight, and also because the info available doesn't really reveal many juicy details. I definitely encourage you to take a look if you're interested, as always, because it's nice to get established with the Infinite team. Links are down in the description, as I always put them. Now that we've covered most of the details for the flights, let's get into the smaller scale of what kind of feedback the team is hoping to get from playtesters. Like I said, the flight will be more of a stress test and pre-beta, but players will still have access to a ton of the core content, so 343 is definitely going to be interested in what people think. So here are some of the areas that they'd like to hear about. Number 1 is core gameplay. How does everything feel? Does movement feel responsive and positive? Does the weapon balance need work? Do the equipment serve a healthy purpose and add meaning to the overall experience? If you find yourself complaining about something every match, it's probably a core component that they'd like to hear about, so definitely raise your voice about anything like that. Coming in at number 2 is maps and modes. Does the gameplay flow with the maps? Do objectives make sense in their placement? Are there areas that break balance or feel obstructive? Can I hide out somewhere with an oddball for a full game? If you or a loved one find themselves struggling with any of the above, you could have a case on your hands. Share it with 343 and raise awareness about it. That sounds good. That might have to be my new recording voice. For number 3, we actually learn about something kind of cool in the Academy's weapon drills. I assume that this mode is tied to the training mode we got teased in the multiplayer arena, where you'll get an opportunity to drill different weapons and learn their functions. It'll probably be a way for new players to learn things like charging plasma pistols or overheating mechanics. It's a nice addition for the people who don't want to play Forge mode just to test out guns, but if you notice something that isn't properly explained, like, I don't know, scoping not being mentioned on the sniper rifle, then share it. Number 4 is pretty simple, but actually really important since I've still got complaints about it across every Halo game pretty much. It's menus and Battle Pass UI. Do the infinite menus feel intuitive, responsive, and understandable? Is everything where you'd expect it to logically be, and are common features accessible? No? Oh, my bad, I think you're playing Halo MCC then, and should definitely let 343 know. But seriously, I do hope that 343 takes some notes of how cluttered of a mess MCC's menus can be in certain cases. So let's say you're hopping along, playing Infinite, you lucky bastard, and you find something that needs changes, being a gameplay tweak, visual glitch, clunky mechanic, a clipping sound effect, whatever. How are we going to let 343 know about it? Luckily, there's a few options that are all pretty straightforward, and that would be the Xbox User Research Team, the 343 Community Team, and Halo support through the Insider Program. The first will be a series of questionnaires after the flight that will collect information about your experience during the testing. Your answers will be turned into data that 343 can study and compare it to other titles to skew the user experience as needed to improve and adjust features that Halo players enjoy. Normally, surveys like this take about 10 to 15 minutes to fill out, so if you opt into the program and get selected, do the community some justice and fill that out when it's your time. The second option is the community team. They'll have the fun job of filtering through all other streams that Halo fans have access to, from forum posts to tweets and YouTube, all of the above. They will do their best to find your complaints and address them, although it's going to be a storm that I can't see anyone realistically navigating without taking shortcuts, such as going to big creators for info first. Luckily, most Halo creators do a good job of interacting with their communities and sharing issues like what we're hunting on these flights, so they'll likely act as a flight ambassador, so to say, to a degree. I'm not saying spam the ambassadors, and not even really saying that they'll be the ambassadors, as I'm not actually able to say how it will work out, but if you do find something big, let your favorite creator know about it. I can be reached as @Tapwart on Twitter, by the way. Lastly is just going to be the Halo support system that you can access through the Insider Program. After the flights, you'll receive an email with a list of resources to use regarding any complaints and documentation for what issues are known, and personally, I think I'll be using this one the most. A flood of duplicate complaints that are already common and being addressed isn't going to help the team get things done any quicker, so it'll be important to make sure you're contributing some substance if you do reach out. Then again, that's just my opinion, and 343 might want all complaints regardless to help them understand the urgency compared to others. I'm not claiming to be an expert here, guys. Okay, bugs reported. Now what? 343 is promising transparency on what the community is reporting, as well as updates on what's getting fixed, what isn't, and how it's being addressed. This is an extremely important change, I think, since the community has kind of become once bitten, twice shy about the silence from the team in the past. I'm really optimistic about Infinite, but even lately with the lack of news and nothing but flighting sign-up reminders day after day, I'm feeling the nerves again. I really hope that the communication from 343 picks up soon as the game goes live, just so that fans can understand what's going on. I know that Infinite is under wraps and that the community updates for MCC have been strong, so things are looking good overall, but I just want to voice that before we move on. With all that said, it's time for the good stuff. Actual information about the upcoming flights. First is that the main focus on the new previews is going to be bots and the Academy before PvP comes online. With this initial flight, they are focusing on a few main areas: gameplay versus bots, maps, weapon drills, menu and battle pass UI, and lastly, the waypoint experience as mentioned before. Bot gameplay is going to start out as a 4v4 players versus bots Slayer extravaganza across 3 maps that we've already been introduced to: Bazaar, Recharge, and Livefire. To keep things fresh, there will be content updates over time to bot difficulty and presumably game modes, be that the loadouts or even other game types. Weapon drills, as stated, are also coming with 12 weapons to demo, including new ones to the franchise like the Skewer, Heatwave, and Commando. At this point, by the way, the post mentions drill scores, which definitely piqued my interest and makes me think about running the pit in Modern Warfare 2. I don't think it's something that we've ever really heard about before, so I am definitely excited to try it out. As far as the battle pass and menus go, we already went over that, so I won't beat a dead horse. Although I did want to mention that players can demo the battle pass using limited in-game credits to unlock some items that they'd like. Obviously, it doesn't carry over into the full game later this year, but I thought it was a fun idea that'll let us see some varied Spartans even from the flight. From there, we touch on the waypoint one more time, where we'll be able to see our challenges and battle pass progression, as well as customize our Spartan, which has already been known, but hey, it's in here, so I'm just going to mention it. And now, before we wind this down, for the grand reveal, I might have to do my sexy voice for this. Flighting dates. I outright refuse to beat around the bush here because there's no concrete date, and anyone who tells you there is a liar. I'm not going to be that guy to pretend like I've got all the answers, but we do have official confirmation that things are at a spot where they could go live as soon as next weekend around July 31st, which is huge, but we'll get word in advance so there's no surprises before things pop off. Also, slightly noteworthy is that they've confirmed that making content around the flight is a-okay, so if your boy gets an invite, I'm going to be all over that, so watch the channel. Please, I need help. Also, check out the Twitch. And I actually think that's a perfect stopping point. There's a little bit left in the post, but I do want you to go check it out. I hate just doing word-for-word reviews of what the posts are, so check the description. That'll take you straight over there, and you can see for yourself. Other than that, there's not really much more to say. If I do get an invite, you will definitely know about it, and I will be posting a ton of content. I might actually even take some time off of work to play through that. Otherwise, do look out for continued content. Please check down in the description for all relevant links to my website, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, LinkedIn, Amazon account, Roblox profile, and the yada yada. You know how it is. Big shout out to all of my patrons. Well, I don't have patrons. My donors who are on screen now. The support is everything for me. But if you're not able to donate, that's okay. I know things are really weird right now, and even outside of that, it's never expected, but always appreciated. The fact that you're here right now listening to me say this means a ton. It means that you went through the entire video, which helps me out a lot. It gets me closer to being able to monetize my videos, so you'll be helping me indirectly as soon as your view starts giving me CPM. Anyway, do stick around for the following video. The Infinite Challenge video should be coming up fairly soon. It will be within this coming week, if not early in the week, and then again I will be streaming and re-uploading next Sunday as I always do. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Ben, aka Tapwort. Peace.